faith, Bansan Choa pursued the life that was made for him. After serving this duty, he is now on the hunt to capture his passion. Good morning, Mr. Chua, for letting us interview you. This is show called Self-Made, to inspire our future leaders and making Philippine first world. So to start, we were so inspired with your childhood. Can you share with us?
In considering that when I started in about 1970s, I was already high school. I was in high school at that time. We have a small family business. That's why to save money, normally you have to do everything by yourself. That's why in 1975, I think, I was able to get my first professional driver's license because I have to do and drive a 10-wheeler truck to make sure that I save on the driver's cost and at the same time I'll be able to drive anytime that is even after office hours. So that's the reason why it's not really because somebody have to drive me, but because I think that's one of the values that my parents have taught me, that you have to do hard work and at the same time make sure that you save everything for the future.
Is this your dream job when you were a kid?
I did not want it to be in the financial sector because my dream before is to become an agriculture. But because of the parents' decision, I have to go into business administration to be able to help in the business that we are into. So when you ask me if it is my dream, it is not my dream before to do remittance as part of the industry. But as I have said, I think it's really fate that bring us together and make sure that we give back what we earned from the OFWs.
Do you do the same thing, the same training to your children?
You know, that's the biggest difference. No? The time is not the same. Normally, you try as much as possible to let them do the same thing. But because of the time difference and because of the organizational structure, not everything can be done at the same time. But as much as possible, we try to give them the same values that we have, which is hard work and trustworthiness. I think the most important thing, hard work is one thing, but the reputation that you try to maintain is more important than any other things.
Are you a tough dad?
Yan ang sabi nila eh. Everybody said that I'm a slave driver, but I think it is not really about slave driving. It's really about how you wanted to make sure that you achieve your objective in life.
How you inspire your children?
You have to ask them to start from below. But that is the biggest problem that you normally have. In your own company, no employee will scold the boss. Kahit na alam natin na you're wrong. What we try to do is we try to let them work outside first for about 2 years to make sure that they develop the culture and the value. Because it's totally different when you start working in your own office and you have not yet learned what are the value of pakikisama, the value of being scolded by your boss. Eventually, adjustment can be done when they go back to the home company.
Why you focus on OFW or started that business through OFW?
Because remittance for so many years have been the lifeline of the Philippine economy. So we wanted them to utilize them properly. That's why we have a lot of programs right now to teach them and to let them know what are the alternative uses of the money that they're going to do, which eventually will greatly affect the economy of the Philippines.
What can we do to help this OFW to have a better life?
First is to be able to reduce the cost of sending money. Because by reducing it, they will be able to send more money here to the Philippines, which can eventually be translated to consumption spending. Second is to give them more alternative into how to properly invest their money. And the third is to eventually make them entrepreneurs. So to create more jobs and they can come back to the Philippines and enjoy what you call the family life.
So with that, so many OFWs outside, as you mentioned, either challenges through family, marriage separation. So what's your key message for them to do, either family here or OFW outside, to really bring that back?
They have to realize that going to work in as an OFW is only a temporary thing. They should attain what you call the objective of finally coming back to the Philippines to either invest or to do businesses, and at the same time to go and retire here in the Philippines. As in one of our speeches that we have made, retirement is one of the industry that they would have to consider, because eventually you can bring even foreigners to retire in the Philippines, and that can become a business that they can operate.
So what's your best message to all OFWs, either executives or domestic helpers? What's your key message to them in order to be successful and eventually come back?
My final message to all of them, regardless of your professional, you are a domestic worker or any other type of OFW, is please, while you are working abroad, try to upgrade your knowledges, and then consider working as an OFW as a temporary measure only, and to finally come back to the Philippines. And from what you have learned is to be able to share with other people here, so that eventually we will have less OFW, but we have more capability to do and have created more jobs in the Philippines, which eventually is going to solve the issue of family being not together, which for me, money is not the real thing for anybody. It is better to have a family together rather than have a broken family and with a lot of money that you will not be happy at the end.
With all your passion, our passion at the HSCO Forum, always on for our country, making Philippines first world. So what's your best advice or message to everybody who's watching you?
Okay. My message to everybody is everything is temporary here in this world. You have to make sure that the legacy that you leave to them is something that is useful not only for your family but also for the entire Filipino people.
All right. Thank you very
Okay.
much. Every success has its struggles. Every dream has its trials and tests. Listen to their stories, because if they did it, you can also be called self-made.